The world we'll be living in by 2026? Well, it's being built as we speak. From AI completely rewriting the rules of our jobs to technology literally merging with our bodies, the next couple of years are going to be transformative. In this explainer, we're going to break down the critical tech trends that are already shaping what's next. So, let's dive right in.
We're going to look at this future through 4 big lenses. First, we'll tackle the revolution that's happening at work. Then, we'll see how our entire environment is getting smarter. From there, we'll explore how our reality itself is getting remixed. And finally, we'll get into the most personal shift of all, the slow merge of humans and machines.
So let's kick things off with a pretty staggering number. By 2026, it's predicted that artificial intelligence could automate up to 70% of the everyday tasks we do at work. Now, that's not just a small change, that is a complete rewrite of what it means to have a job.
All right, first up, the new rules of work. And forget just automating a few boring tasks. We are stepping into a whole new era, one where you can go from building your own simple apps with drag and drop to delegating an entire complex project to an AI.
Think of this like a 3-step evolution. First, you've got low-code platforms, which means pretty much anyone can become a creator. A whopping 75% of new apps are going to be built this way. Then, you move to automating entire workflows, which frees up just a massive amount of our time. But that final leap, that's delegation. With AI agents like Devin, you can just hand off a goal, like build me a website, and the AI does the whole thing. Our jobs are shifting from doing the work to directing the work.
And you know, this massive shift isn't just happening in the digital world, on our screens. For the first time, physical humanoid robots are actually becoming affordable enough to clock in for a shift right alongside us.
And I mean it. This isn't sci-fi. This is happening right now. Figure AI is working with BMW to get its robots on the factory floor. Agility Robotics is putting its Digit robot to work in Amazon warehouses. And yeah, even Tesla's Optimus is already doing basic jobs in its factories. The key here is that they're finally getting good enough and cheap enough to be a real thing at scale.
Okay, so we've got AI agents and physical robots. But what's the engine driving all of this innovation? Well, that brings us to our second big idea. The smarter technology that's making our entire world think.
You know, a huge piece of this puzzle is the move from cloud AI to what's called edge AI. For years, AI meant sending your data to some giant server farm to be processed. That's slow, and it brings up all sorts of privacy questions, right? Well, edge AI flips that completely. The thinking happens right there on your phone or your laptop. It's instant, and maybe most importantly, it's private by design. Your data stays with you.
And you know this is a big deal because all the heavy hitters are betting the farm on it. Apple, Qualcomm, Intel, they're all building these specialized AI brains, or NPUs, right into their chips. It means our devices can handle really complex AI stuff all by themselves. At the same time, you have Microsoft weaving its AI, Copilot, right into the very fabric of Windows. Your computer is becoming an active partner.
Now, when you take that on-device smarts and you connect everything together, what you get is an explosion in the Internet of Things, or IoT. We're talking over 30 billion connected devices out there in the world by 2026. Just think about that number. And we're not just talking about your smart toaster. This is about smart infrastructure. In Singapore, the traffic lights already adjust to traffic in real time. South Korea has smart poles that check air quality and charge your devices. Warehouses are using it to automate inventory. And you've got autonomous scanners roaming the aisles at Walmart. Our actual physical world is becoming a living, breathing, responsive system.
And if we just peek a little further down the road, beyond 2026, the next frontier is quantum computing. For decades, this stuff was pure theory. But now, companies like IBM are building the first systems that could actually have real-world uses. We're talking about solving problems in medicine or logistics that are literally impossible for today's computers. It's the ultimate step in smarter tech.
All right, for our third section, we're shifting gears. We're moving from the tech that's under the hood to how it's actually changing our perception of the world around us. Because that line between what's real and what's digital, it is starting to get seriously blurry.
The key idea to get your head around here is extended reality, or XR for short. It's kind of the big umbrella term that covers everything from fully immersive virtual reality that takes you to another world, to augmented reality, which just lays digital info right on top of the real world.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The next major change in how we interact with tech might be moving away from the phone in our hand to lightweight AR glasses on our face. So instead of looking down at a screen, imagine having directions, messages, or even live translations just floating in your vision. By 2026, this could be a whole lot closer to being mainstream. At the exact same time, our digital assistants are finally breaking out of their smart speaker prisons. Amazon's Astro robot is already being used for things like home security. Apple is reportedly working on a little tabletop robot that can follow you around on video calls. And in China, you can already go into a showroom and get help from a humanoid assistant. So, all of this leads us to our final and honestly, probably the most profound section: the merging of human and machine. This is where technology isn't just something we use anymore, it's something we wear, something that watches over us, and maybe something that connects directly into us.
Wearable tech has come a long, long way from just counting our steps, right? Now you have devices like the Oura Ring or Whoop that are basically 24/7 health monitors. They're tracking your stress, your sleep, even signs of illness before you feel sick. But the real game changer isn't just the data. It's the AI that tells you what it all means and gives you personalized advice to actually improve your health.
And this is where personal wellness starts crossing over into actual clinical healthcare. AI is becoming less of an analytical tool and more of a proactive, personalized health guardian for millions of people.
And some of the breakthroughs are just astounding. Google's AI can spot dozens of diseases just from a simple scan of your eye. Hospitals are using AI to predict deadly conditions like sepsis hours before they become critical. And in cancer treatment, AI is helping doctors create personalized therapies based on a patient's unique DNA. This isn't future stuff. This is saving lives today.
And then, finally, we arrive at the absolute frontier: brain-computer interfaces. This quote is about the incredible achievement from Neuralink, where their first human patient was able to move a computer cursor just by thinking. For people with paralysis, this kind of tech offers a real chance to communicate and move again. It's not a theory anymore.
So, when you step back and look at the big picture, you see AI agents in our jobs, smart tech woven into our cities, and health monitors inside of us. Technology is becoming more and more integrated into every single part of our lives. And that leaves us with the one final, crucial question we all have to ask ourselves. As this merger gets deeper, where do we, and where should we, draw the line?